Hi guys, this is Love and Sparkles. All right, this is crazy. I've got one charger that'll charge correctly. The other one sits there and it's got to be in the right spot. And let me get you hooked up. There we go, because I don't want you dying in the middle. Oh, how's your week been? How's your week been? How's your week been? Of course, this one don't even work in this one at all. Oh, well, yeah, it does, but really weird. So maybe we're good. Okay. Hi, everybody. If anyone wants to come in, let me know and I will send you a link. This is week 1 of the Let Your Witch Goddess Free event. This is Love and Sparkles, and I am using the Diamond Pen Pal pen. I have my Let Your Witch Goddess free tray, which will be in all the prize packages. Hi, Muttnut. Hi, Chantel. And I'm using my shrimp boat. Oh, excuse me. And then I've added the dynamite diamond drills trays. Let me start adding some names. Hi, Risa. I'm going to get y'all on the spinner wheel. Maybe, maybe, maybe. Okay. We got to get another one. This way, if I can put y'all in here as you come in, it's easier because this is be for today's win. And what would y'all prefer? Would you all prefer a drop ship distracted by diamonds um, canvas or a $50 DAC gift card? Let me know, and that will be what today's prize will be. Oh, my arm is killing me. Weather's probably fixing to flip again. I mean, don't ask me why, but it seems like every time the weather flips, my arm goes nuts. Okay, this week I have gotten 2/3 of my canvas done on my Witch Goddess canvas, or my Spring Goddess of Spring from Rose Prophet canvas. I mean, it's like I've got an 8-inch strip by, oh, hi Tijuana, an 8-inch strip by possibly, oh, now it decided to charge. 20, and it'll be done. Okay. So whoever wins, I'll contact DAC and give them your email address. Hi, Melinda. Hi, Melinda. Did y'all get a bunch of painting done this week? I know I saw Mutt Nuts. Well, let me see. What have I done this week? My dog ate. Let me show you what my dog ate. Well, do I use this tray? No, because it really doesn't work. It really doesn't work well. But it was the cutest darn thing because it was an M&M. Make sure you subscribe because you never know what my little brain's gonna come up with. But yeah, it was a little M&M. But if you notice, he's missing his hand because my dog decided that was going to be his chew toy this morning. I mean, I don't use it because it really doesn't work real well for drills, but it was really cute. So yeah, it was like, let me see, did I get Melinda in here? Yeah. So that was my one thing. Okay, another one is, you remember them pink tennis shoes I bought? They became a chew toy. Well, this little sheathing is so fun. Yeah, I've almost got this Rose Prophet knocked out. And then I'll start on the Sage and Hood. We'll start the Sage and Hood. And so, what else this week? Um, Gone back to being hotter than Hades. It's already 100 degrees here. And another sponsor box, guys. Another sponsor box. And this one, I sent him a message saying, how much you going to charge me to buy one of these? Because I want to get one for myself. These are really nice. So this goes in the price package, the ones that you're eligible for each week. And they actually say, let me see if I can find, yep, let your witch goddess free, 23. So, and of course, there are fireflies. And it's it's multiple colors. Like this side's like a blue, this side's like this one's purple. No, like a purpley red, purple, blue, green. It's all kinds of different colors. And it's an Inferno Nano. They are gorgeous, guys. So I contacted them and it was like, thank you, thank you, thank you, because I got one that'll go in every prize box. And I was like, but I want to get one for myself. So how much is it going to run me? Because I really want one of them. And then, of course, I got all the other little goodies that will be going out. They are so pretty. Hi, Jennifer. And if you got Melinda and Jennifer, if you haven't joined, I am running a 2-month event, and it's called Let Your Witch Goddess Free. And every week or every once a week, there will be a major prize package, but you need to sign up on the I'm trying to get your name in there, on the Google Doc, and that's just so that I can know where to mail it to. And all you have to do is just post a progress pic. Just post a progress pic. That is it. That is it. That is it. Just a progress pic. And so, just post your progress pic. It doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be a certain size of a progress pic. Doesn't have to be a certain amount of drills. You do have to have a 40 by 40 area to drill. I don't care if it's like a 30 by 60 canvas or a 40 by 40 or, a 30 by 50, as long as it comes out the where it would be 40 by 40. That's it. It doesn't have to be a new start. You're not going to have to finish it. And it's any kind of witch. It can be a good witch, bad witch, cartoon witch. It can be a pumpkin with a witch hat on it. No problem. Now, I do have a Facebook group, which is Let Your Witch Goddess Free, and it has all the sponsor people in there. The only one that has had to back out was Take 10 Candles, because she's not in business anymore. But all the rest of them are still applicable. So, that's really awesome. Like today, for this live, we'll be giving away a $50 gift card. We've also got like a $25 gift certificate from Diamond Drills USA, still available. Be later this week. I got some Oracle cards. Pretty much, as long as you show some kind of progress. It doesn't have to be a whole lot. And for the grand prize, you have to be on the Google Doc. Well, the thing is, the witch, it can be a goddess. So if you want to call your figure a goddess, you're probably okay, because it can be a witch, it can be a wizard, it can be a Merlin, it can be a god, it could be Apollo, it can be Loki, it can be Thor. You know, I did it. It could be the Druid. I mean, anything that's got a pagany, ethereal feel. And knowing Rose, most of her stuff kind of goes on the pagan area, so you'd probably be okay. Um, and then it runs for 8 weeks, so there's going to be a prize box. I'm going to tell you, these boxes are big. These boxes are big. Every box will have a DAC painting in it. Every box is going to have, it's going to have one of these little wonderful things. It's going to have a Rose Prophet Venti in it. It's going to have not Rose Prophet, Nick's Notions Venti. It's going to have a putty that's got a little cupcake on top of it. I mean, it's going to have, thank you, dog. My dogs are driving me nuts. It's going to have the little, and for the weekly ones, it's going to have little cover minders from Dynamite Diamonds. And then for the grand prize, it'll have a set of these and all the diamond drills and all kinds of good stuff. Debbie Day's got stuff in there for the weekly. She's got a wonderful prize pack for the grand prize. And so it's just post everything once a week, because once a week gets you on the wheel. Let me see, I got to make sure who all's in here. Ta-da. Okay. All right. Melinda, I didn't add your last name. We'll just put hands. There we go. So far, everyone who's in here has got a spot on the wheel. And so today will be at the end of the day, I'll draw, and it'll be for the $50 gift card to DAC. And I'll contact DAC and give them your info, and they should contact you. Usually they do it in Messenger, but I'll give them your Facebook Messenger, or who knows, they might give me the code and I'll hand it to you. But, so I've got those. I've got gift cards to Captured by Radiance. I mean, I got a lot this year. I mean, I started working on it back in, God, when was it? Mutton Up back in February. I think it was like February I started like gathering. I mean, like really gathering. Oh, and what was the other thing I did? Okay, my air conditioner on my car. I sat there and I took it in and got cold. Well, it lasted 4 to 6 weeks. So my brother's friend's like, oh, well, I'll put some Freon in there. But he said, it does have a leak. He said, because once you put it in, it shouldn't come out. It's like, it should just be there. And I'm like, well, and he says, well, he filled it up. And he said, well, it's not tripping it to come on. So he said, he's one of those old timey mechanics. He's like one of those good mechanics. He said, I'm going to put a jump thing on it to where it bypasses what tells it the condenser to start running or the compressor to start running. He said, and it's going to have this little switch, and I'm going to put off and on. And, and that way you can just turn it off when you stop. Make sure you turn it off or it'll kill your battery. Well, wonderful me. I went Friday, went out to dinner with my girlfriend, and got back, and I thought I'd turned it off, but I didn't. And I went out, and my battery was deader than a doornail, guys. So I have to walk, and thank God he was at my brother's. And I walk over there, and I was like, can you jump my car? Can't get it to do anything. Well, we sit there and tried jumping it from the hood. Can't jump it from the hood. You actually have to rip up the back floorboard to get to the battery, to use the jump box, to jump it with the battery. So we did that. I let it sit there for like 25 minutes and idle. Turned it off, tried to start it again. Wouldn't start. It would almost start, but wouldn't start. So I trudged back over there. It was like, I killed it. Can you jump it again? And so he says, oh my goodness. And I was like, all right. I said, what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to, I was frustrated, guys, because I've been trying to lose weight, which of course I can't seem to lose any dang weight to save my soul. Doesn't seem to happen, whether I eat, don't eat, whatever. But I was so frustrated. I said, I will drive this stupid thing into town just to buy a shake and drive back 34 miles. So I drove 34 miles round trip just to buy a cheesecake shake so I could charge my car up because I was like fed up with it. So that was another thing this week. I mean, it has just been one stupid thing after another stupid thing. But I have been doing some heavy duty diamond painting because this is a 50 by 50 and it's the first of many canvases. And I'm going to also be doing um, a 40 by 50 of the Sage in the Hood. I just thought I saw something outside my door. The Sage in the Hood, the same one that Muttnut's doing. And let me grab it. I'm going to show y'all. And this is available on Amazon. So this is the Sage in the Hood. And she's working on the same canvas I'm working on. 40 by 60. Okay, it's bigger than I thought. It'll take me a little longer then. So it's a 40 by 60, so it definitely counts as a 40 by 40. Thank you, Muttnut. And we're both blinging. Now, on that last thing on the Google Doc, and everyone says, I don't know what that means. So they're putting the date in there. The date in there. What that is I was asking if you're going to bling. All you needed was a yes or no. Because if you're actually going to bling and add extra drills to your canvas, it will get you an extra spot on the grand prize wheel. So instead of having one slot, you'll have two. So it gives you more of a chance of winning. So, that was what that was. So that answers that question because everyone's like, what does it mean? So I went ahead and just put a post in the Facebook group as if you're going to bling, put your name here so I could go through and figure out who's blinging, who's not blinging because it didn't help with some of y'all I knew because you've, commented or I went through and looked at some of your pictures, your start pictures, and you had your bling sitting out there with it. So, but there is no hoops. You don't have to stand up. You don't have to have a comment. You don't have to put a date and a time. You don't have to have a special word. You just take a picture of your photo. I will have week 1 post here and you just post a picture. One picture, guys, just one. And then at midnight on Saturday, I will close it. You won't be able to comment on it no more. And then I will post week 2 post week 2 pictures here. And then Sunday I will draw for the wheel and we'll see who gets it. So far, I think there's 12 of you so far because I'm doing as it goes so that I can keep up with it. Now, what I'm doing about the grand prize is to get the grand prize, you must be on the Google Doc. And the second thing is you have to have done 2 progress pictures because I don't think it's fair that you don't do in. Let me check, but I don't think I saw you. And I can't check till after StreamYard, but I don't. Well, I know how to check because what I've done is I actually wrote it on a piece of paper, so I can tell you. Is there Melinda on here? Nope, Melinda, you're not on the Google Doc. So just go to the in Facebook. It's Let Your Witch Goddess Free 2023, and that is the Facebook. It's open. You don't have to be accepted or anything. Now my Love and Sparkles one, you do. If you want to come into it, you do. But for the event, it's just open, go in there. The Google Doc is in there. It is attached at the top and it's also in going down. And just go in there, fill it out, and then you'll go on my little list because that's how I'm figuring out how to do what, where, when, how, just because, makes it easier. One of these days, I'm going to try to figure out how to do this StreamYard thing, but since I'm working on my phone right now, not working. And you're not going to believe what I did last night. My cable, well, I don't have cable. I have internet stream. So my internet went down at like 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. And so I was like looking and checking and everything. And I tried to call the company. It just had this weird ring. And so then I went from that to try to contact or to, do something else. Couldn't get through that way. So I finally went to their 188 number as a last resort. And all you got was this message saying our entire network is down. We have no timing available yet of when it will be repaired. Guys, it didn't come back till 11 o'clock last night is when my internet came back on. So I was sitting here and it didn't occur to me till like 9 o'clock that I could hotspot my phone to my TV and at least, watch something on my TV. But it didn't occur till like 9 o'clock. So I sat here in my poor little brain with my little stuff just flying around in there. Yes. My little, oh, it was bad. It was bad. Oh, it was bad. I'm not on Spectrum. I'm on, because I live way out in the country, and I'm on Petagene Fiber Network or something like that. But I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just got so hot. I got a tree out there, guys. It looks like it's melting. I have got a melting tree. It's like, it's the damnedest thing I've ever seen. I showed it to a friend, my brother's friend. I said, look at this tree. It's melting. I mean, all the leaves are just like dripping down. Everything on it's just dripping. It looks like it has melted. I was like, it's the dangest thing I've ever seen. And I mean, half my trees have lost their leaves and it's not even fall yet. I mean, it's like, and we're supposed to start getting cool next week. Next week, when it starts getting cool, I ain't going to have a leaf left. They're all just going to go splat. Yeah, that's about when mine came up. And I was just like, and of course, I'm on the ADHD spectrum. So without no background noise to like keep me company, my poor little brain was in here just going nuts. So I started really getting into diamond painting and I got into it and I hyper focused. And guys, I diamond painted for 16 hours, which is why I am down to the woman's chin on that goddess of spring. I mean, down to her chin. All that's left is like some flowers down around her face. I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe I have diamond painted for 16 hours. That's what happens when you get into that hyper focus mode. So I can't wait till I go in there and talk to my doctor. And I was actually listening to someone, and I don't know how many of y'all have ADHD or how many of you take meds, but I was listening to someone that's tried multiples, and it sounds like the Adderall XR worked the best for her. And so I might try seeing if I can get that because, oh my God, that was awful. Awful. I mean, there was no, okay, there we go. I was trying to find my wheel because, okay, there it is. Because it was just awful, guys. Awful. Don't want to do that again. Don't want to do that again. Still trying to work up to where I stay focused and get stuff completed. Let's see what I ordered from. Well, Nick sent me on these little hunts. She sent me on where I bought this light that I can put over the top of the board. Because there's some paintings that you can put them on a light board and you still can't see crap because you got to have the light on top. It's like really weird. Some you have to have the light board to see up. Some you have to have the light board or the light to see down. So and she's so worried. I don't know how I would break this light pad. My light pad, guys, is this thick. It is that thick. So it's not going to bend, but she was always worried I was going to bend it. So she talked me into buying this art board. Well, this art board came in a box that is like massive, guys. If that's the art board, there ain't no way I can put that in my lap. There ain't no way. It's like, ain't no way. And I still need to, I got a granddaughter that's got coming up on next Wednesday. Yes, next Wednesday. So I got a week to get it done. A little over a week. But I've got to get hers framed because it's her birthday present. It's like, it's like, la, 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 la. It's like, yeah. And then of course I have a frame for this one, and I'll probably pull down that eye that's above my bedroom and put her up there. And then eventually I'm going to go to a craft fair or when they have the vendor events for Christmas or something and take the ones I have framed, because by the time I frame them, you can't get them out. Can't get them out. They're not coming out of the frame. Because I double side tape them to the cardboard that's behind the frame. So it's like they're there. And they're there for the duration. They're not coming off. So I'm probably going to take them in there and see if I can sell them. Do something with them. Something. Because I switched out Titanium Uberon. So he's sitting over here and he's framed. He's framed. And I put up that Mysterious Beauty, which she looks just absolutely gorgeous, especially from across the room. Gorgeous. To die for. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And someone put another one out that looks kind of like her, but it's got a bigger purple flower at the bottom. I was like, think of the signature. So it's the exact same painting, but they added a purple flower. And that's the only difference. Exact same painting, purple flower. Then, so I got to get that framed. And I got to get my table cleaned off, which I'm going to take all those prize packages back in there and see what I can do about the first box and get it packed up. And then I'm just going to have to buy bigger boxes all the way around. I just really am. Because the ones that I had them in there, I can't get anything else in them, and I don't have all the stuff in them. So I guess I'm going to have to make a run to Walmart and take the one that it's actually working with and measure it and buy some boxes that are that size, and then buy one that's a little longer to put the grand prize diamond painting in, because it's an $80 Chuck Pinson. Now, if you don't like landscapes and you win the grand prize, let me know, and I'll see what I got in my stuff that I can switch it out for, and then just give that as a random prize, because I bought one for myself, so I don't need two. I mean, it's a gorgeous painting. And if you have a event site or whatever, you could always keep it and hand it off as a prize for someone else. You never, it's like whatever. But yeah, it's like, yeah. I've got to go to Debbie Days and order some round drills, because the only thing I have that I can use on my sage and hood is I got some sparklers I can throw in here. Well, I guess I could just do it all with sparklers. I got some glow in the darks because I always do my wording with glow in the dark. And I hate that when they do that. Muttnut was talking about that. I don't know how many of y'all watch Muttnut, but when you get them that have this wording, if you look really close in those words, they're going to have 3 or 4 different colors. Why they do that, I don't know. Because when you try to read that from across the room, it makes it enough to where it's not clear and you can't hardly read it. So, Okay, no problem. You are well. Everyone I've noticed, that hasn't done the Google Doc, I'm trying to send them to the Google Doc. Now, on the Google Doc, I will close it on October 1st because I don't think it's fair to you guys for someone not to join the event and not to have participated in the event, except for like maybe the last 2 weeks. And then poof, they win the grand prize. I just think that'd be kind of crappy, if y'all know what I mean. It's like, yeah, no. That's not so kosher. So I'm going to try to close it out at the October 1st. That way it's been open for four weeks, and that way, it gives another 4 weeks. And I am going to make it to where people need to have posted at least twice, participated some, because, you don't want them not to participate at all, and then they win the grand prize. That'd be kind of crappy too. And I want to hear y'all's thought on this. Okay, when people do the number, and you tell people only one number, don't duplicate numbers. And all you got to do is just pay attention when they're coming through. You put a number, and while people are still putting numbers, just go back and look and see if you doubled someone's number. Go back and remove it and put another number. Because to me, like say, I put the number first and my number wins, but one or two, three more people put that same number, and now I got to go fight against them, and I'm the first one to put the number. So I've always thought, and then Mrs. Coffee was the same way, it's the first person that puts that number, because that's only fair. If you're telling people do not repeat the number, I mean, it's just pay attention and don't repeat the number. So if I do a number thingy, I will try to, tell people, hey, that's double, that's double, that's double, change the number, because that's just not fair to the first person. I mean, they started doing, well, we'll do a spin-off, but the spin-off's not really fair, because if you've won it already, now you're having to win it again. Whereas someone else, if they've had a number and it wasn't copied, then they just won it. So it's not fair to you to have to try to fight for your spot twice. Does everyone agree with that or not? Because I just don't think it's right. I mean, it's always made me kind of angry. And sometimes if it's not something I really want and they're doing that, I won't even play. That's why I want to try to figure out how to do like Tmall does, where it's a hashtag of a word, and then it don't matter because it can't be duplicated. Because it's I'm glad you agree, Mitnut, because it just seems like it's not right that, you guessed the right number. You're the first one that put that number in. And because, 3 or 4 people come behind you and put that number, now you've got to fight try to win your spot again. So, I mean, and I'm I don't know if it's my ADHD, guys, but I have always been a real stickler about rules. I'm kind of OCD about it. I was the same way with nursing. It was like, if this is the policy, then this is the policy. We're not going to change the policy today to make so-and-so happy. It is or it's not. Just like when I went off on that doctor, it was like, it's this way or it's this way, but you can't have both ways. And it's just like, it's a thing. And now that I've found out, I've been watching these things, I was like, I've been on, my ADHD has been rocking since I was a kid. Because I did not realize, and I don't know if y'all realize, but on the ADHD thing, if you were a loner as a kid, you had to be the class clown to be, where people even wanted to be around you, or you were bullied, or, maybe you weren't hyperactive, but you picked your fingernails or you bit your fingernails, or mine was I would do this and chew on the inside of my cheek. Those are all how your hyperactivity is coming out. So it was like, I did not know that. Now I know in college, it's a miracle I got through college, which is why I have no minor. I have a bachelor's, but I have no minor because I couldn't get through a subject unless I was interested in it, which is an ADHD thing. If you're not interested, it doesn't hold your focus, you ain't going to do crap. So if you can't hold your focus, it ain't happening. So all the things that were minors, none of them caught my focus and my interest. So I just kept doing science, and you couldn't major and minor in science. So I'm probably the only nurse that took geology courses. And I took zoology courses. Everything was science. Everything was science because that's what I liked. So I mean, I didn't realize that's what that was. I didn't realize the fact that the only time I could get stuff done was when it came down to crunch time of like, I really need to study. I really need to study. Oh, I can't study. I'm not going to study. I'm not going to study. Can't study. Oh my God, the test is tomorrow. I got to study all night. Me. That's how it happened. I mean, it was bad. It was bad, y'all. Getting school. School was horrible. I don't know if it's worse realizing your whole life has been absolute hell and you never knew why, to find out at the age of 63 that you're ADHD and probably a little OCD in there because, like, I'm a rule on stickler on rules. If the rule is this, then that's the rule. You know, it's like that's what they make rules for. You know, just like right now. Don't want to talk politics, but we don't like him, so we're going to put him in court systems to keep him occupied when you got this one over here doing this and this one over here doing this, and they're all doing the same damn thing. So it's like, why you know, if you don't throw rocks in a glass house, period. Don't go throw rocks in a glass house. If your house is a rock, glass, just keep your mouth shut. Rock on. I mean, it's that simple. It's like, don't, it's like, okay, with my dad, okay, and he's 78. My mom passed away. It's been 4 years now, my God. And he's been depressed and by himself over there. Well, there's these people, it's a son and a mother, and they're at the front of the road and they're trying to get the land cleared up and put an RV in there. I mean, it's not even a trailer, but it's an RV. And okay, this woman's like 74. So she was sitting out there on the side of the road in the 100-degree heat plus. And so my cousin who lives down the road called my dad and said, hey, there's some woman sitting down the road and she looks like she's going to die of heat stroke. You might want to go down there and see what you can do. But what he did was like, hey, while he's working on your house down there, you can stay in my house up here because it's cool. Well, my sister came out. She had an absolute meltdown, guys. Meltdown. My sister ain't called me in probably a year and a half. I can count on this many fingers how many times she's called me. And she calls me. She goes, what about that woman down there staying at Dad's? And I was like, no, I'm not getting in it. And she was like, oh my God, blah, 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 you need to go over there. And I'm like, look, I live right across the road from him. You have to drive 40 minutes to get here to see him. I said, I'm not getting in the middle of it. I learned that long ago. What he got going on in his house, that's his business. I've been told you butt out, come visit, but don't butt in. And she's like, oh my God, you don't know if her son could come down there, knock him over the head and steal stuff and do this and do that. I was like, if you got a problem with it, you talk to Dad about it because I'm not getting in the middle of it. It's like, not my problem. I learned the hard way. It's like, no. I mean, I know that sounds bad, but yeah, no, no, no. And if he wants to have some lady down there hanging out with him, and he's got 3 bedrooms, so I mean, she's down in one end of the house, staying in a cool room, and he's down at the other end of the house, and every once in a while, they're in the living room watching TV, and she's cooking. So, it's like, hey, whatever. It's like, whatever. It's like, I'm not getting in that. But I am glad to see there's other people that agree with me. Maybe it's just our age range, but it's like, I don't think everyone should get a prize. This thing of like, everybody wins. No, no. It's like, if that's the rule, that's the rule. It's not that hard because I've always sit there and when I put a number, I'll go back to make sure I haven't put anyone else's number, to make sure I haven't copied anyone's, because I mean, it's just just the way it should be. If I could figure out how to do that one on the phone, I may have to just start breaking out and pulling out because I know I could probably do it on the laptop top where you do that prize generator or whatever it is. But, and I'm trying to see if I can find an app that's a prize generator. So I could probably, see if I could do a prize generator on an app. So, yeah, it's like, mm-mm, 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 mm. And oh, the other thing this week, you ever had your dryer run for 10 hours? I went to bed at midnight and I had just gotten done my lawn, well, washed my wash, and I thought, I'm going to throw this in here and just set it for, till it's dry. And then I'll get up in the morning and put them away. I woke up in the morning, 10 hours later, and that damn thing was still running. You want to talk about rough getting in these jeans? Can you imagine jeans that have been dried for 10 hours? Yeah, they're just now starting to loosen up. I thought I was going to die sucking myself in. And I can bet every pair of jeans that I own is going to be this way because I've dried for 10 freaking hours. So I called my son, got him to come out here to see what was going on because I was like, I know this is not right. I'm sorry, but it's not right. Dryers are not supposed to run for 10 hours. That's just not right. Not right, not right, not right. I tried to get Matt to come in from Firefly, but he said he probably would have to work. So if I ever get anyone in here that would like to come on live with me, I'll definitely bring you in. So, that would be awesome. Palmy used to come in with me, but I haven't seen Palmy in a while. Oh, now, Muttnut, they don't have ADD no more. ADD has now just become ADHD. They threw it all together and it's all one now. So I was like, okay. I was like, go for it. But that explains how I can sit here for 16 hours in diamond paint. It was like, oh my freaking God. Let me see, what's my hair doing? Okay, that's what my hair is doing. Like I can only tell when it's like discombobulated. But yeah, 10 hours of drying jeans. I mean, oh my God. That and them Spanx. So I got Spanx that have been dried for 10 hours, and I got jeans that have been dried for 10 hours. And let me tell you, I feel like I have been squished through the sausage maker because they are so daggum tight. It's like unbelievably tight. And I've been looking at some of these canvases that have been coming up. Yeah, it's like, and this is the thinned down version, believe it or not. It's like, oh my God. I mean, actually, this is the thin version. But thank you. I could share forever. And this is the gray version, believe it or not. Yeah, now they just say it's ADHD. So I was like, okay, fine, 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 fine. It's like, okay. That was so funny when I went to oh yeah, last Wednesday I went to go see the psychiatrist, right? That was so funny. That was hilarious. But of course, my psychiatrist, because I'm in a CBOC, which is like a clinic out in the, oh wow, mine's still about yay big. It used to be this big, so I've lost quite a bit. But I can find things that'll hold it now, whereas before I couldn't. Um, but they actually now, and she goes, but I'm not an MD, so I can't actually prescribe the medicine. I can manage it, but I can't prescribe it. So I was like, huh? She goes, yeah, we got to get a doctor to prescribe it, and then I can manage it. I was like, okay. And so we were sitting there, and she was asking these questions, and so I told her that I have one, two, three, four grandchildren out of six. that have got ADHD so far. One's ADHD autistic. And then my daughter's just been diagnosed ADHD. Um, I mean, it's just like, oh my gosh. It's like, oh yeah, she goes, this right here is telling me you probably have it since all the children you birthed and grandchildren in your line have it. I said, okay. And then she was talking to me and she goes, I have a question. She goes, how did you get to be your age and have never been diagnosed? And I said, probably because I don't go to the doctor unless I'm sick. And when I'm sick, they're more worried about getting me better than worrying about, and I'm not talking that much because, oh, I feel like holy hell. So she was like, okay, maybe that explains it. She goes, because oh yeah. She goes, if I could start this right now, I would. She goes, because yes, you are, oh yes. I mean, that's all she kept saying. Well, you are, oh yes. And I was like, oh, that's good. And so I said, well, I'll tell you what. And it took me to tell her this because she's a nurse practitioner that specializes in psychiatry. And I was like, okay, why don't you? I said, I go see my PCP next Monday. I said, why don't you put in the notes that you're going to ask her if she'll start whatever and then see if we can get her to start it. And she goes, well, I didn't wish I'd thought of that. I was just like, oh my Lord. That's some of my, nurse critical thinking that still hangs around. And then of course it's like people are funny. People are really funny. I have my friend, she's 45, okay, and I'm 63, so I'm what? Hmm, 15, 16, 17, 18 years older than her. She's like, oh, well, can't you work as this? And I'm like, how many times do I need to tell you? I am totally disabled due to what that jackwagon surgeon did to me. And if I try to work, I lose my disability. And then you find out after a month that, oh, we just can't handle this. So why would I do that? I said, because it's not easy to get disability. It's not like they just hand that shit out at the corner. You got to fight for it. And it's a long wait. And you go without any money for a long ass time. I was just like, no. I mean, she keeps trying. I said, put it this way. I lost last July when I turned 62. I said, I completely lost my nursing license because I did not have the education hours. I didn't have any work hours, and you have to have so much of each to get your license renewed. I said, and I didn't have any of that. So my license went bye-bye. I said, I don't even have a license. So how am I going to go get hired as a nurse if I don't even have a license? She goes, what? I was just like, oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. I said, when you renew, do you not actually pay attention to that? Where you have to have so many education hours. And I think it's like you had to have like 1,000 hours of work time in a hospital or a clinic to redo your license or, work at a school or something. And I said, I haven't worked in 2 years. So I didn't have the hours. It was like, that's one of the things that caused my meltdown. I went from being a nurse for, most of my adult life to all of a sudden it was like, who am I? What am I? It was a big identity crisis. And I didn't even realize why I was tripping out until my therapist said, you've just lost your identity. You were a nurse. He said, you're still a nurse. The knowledge is in there, but you lost your identity. He said it was, pulled from you. And so it was like, oh, yeah, okay, gotcha. And then my psychiatrist is like, I was telling her about the surgery and how it had gone so bad. And then how I died on the table and I came back and I had to rehab myself because no one ever showed up for it. And how, I've had 4 major abdominal surgeries and ooh, yeah, you get that painting done, girl. Or are you working on the moon one right now? But so it was like, I was like, I went through that. I said I went through a divorce. I went through the death of my mother, which I did CPR on, which was like tore my poor brain apart. I mean, it was like devastating to me. I said, and then, and then I turned around and died, and then I had to rehab my way back to work. And then I had 4 major abdominal surgeries. And every time I went back to work, the mesh would fail. And then the last time I woke up, she flat told me it might hold a month, it might hold a year, it might hold 2, but you're going to have many more surgeries the rest of your life. And if you go back to work, you'll be back on the table in a month. And so that was when I finally said, okay, I give. I'll file for disability. And it was like all that was like within a year and a half period. Having an ex-husband that went crazy and was shooting over my daughter and my grandkids, and they were in the car because he wanted to shoot her. He was her fiance at the time. It's her husband now. But, and her husband's drunk and he's flipped his lid and they're out there and, it was like, yeah, it was like, and poor Psyche, her eyes just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And she was like, oh my God, how are you still in one piece? She goes, I don't even see how you're still, she goes, that is so much to go together in such a short amount of time. She goes, okay, are you wanting to hurt yourself? And I said, truthfully, and I know this sounds bad, guys. I know it does. I said, honestly, I would prefer not to be here because it's hell. I said, and it's rough. It is really rough. And my poor Psyche, it's better now, but I was at the bottom of the barrel. I said, but I knew how devastated I was from the loss of my mother. I said, so I vowed I would not do that to my children and my grandchildren. I said, so they are the only reason I am still here. So you don't have to worry about that. And she goes, oh, I'm glad to hear that. She goes, because of the people I see, I can see where that would be something that you could be like, I've just done. And I said, it did cross my mind, but I couldn't do that to them knowing how bad, it was for me because it was just devastating. It's just, and I don't know how many of y'all are really spiritual, but I can tell when my mom comes and visits, guys. I know people think I'm crazy. I've lost my rocker, yada. And it started right after I got out of the hospital. I had to go to my dad's house and stay for, God, 2 or 3 weeks because they wouldn't let me go home. And so they were supposed to have rehab come out and see me. And they came out and did an assessment and then they just never came back. And so I was having to rehab myself, teach myself how to walk again, teach myself how to use my right arm again. And so I'm doing all that. And I'm just like, in a bad spot. And and my mom smoked like a freight train. Smoked like a freight train. I know it does, doesn't it? It does. And so it was like she smoked like crazy. And I think half of them she didn't even smoke. It was just to light them up, put them in the ashtray. So she always smelled like nicotine. Well, it was like I'd be sitting in the recliner that my mom would always sit in. And all of a sudden it'd be like someone stuck an ashtray up under my nose. And I was like, and I'd be like, Daddy, you smoking in the house? And he's like, no, I'm not. But it would last for 10, 15 minutes and then go away. And that went on for, God, I don't know how long. And even after I got home in my house, no one's ever smoked in my house. And it would, come, especially when I was really depressed, it would just come and it would be, and sometimes I would just get this warm feeling. And then when I did go back to work, I worked in a cath lab, heart cath lab. No one's smoking in the heart cath lab. And I would smell cigarette smoke. So I finally sat down and had a talk with my mom. I said, like, all right, Mom, I know you have more cologne than just smoke cigarettes. I'm glad they're letting you smoke up there, but can you not change your perfume? So now I smell the perfume that she wore all the time. So now if I'm having a low moment, I will smell her perfume. And it calms me to no end to be there and just kind of like depressed or lonely because I mean, I live 17 miles out in the country. Yes, I have 4 dogs, and they can tell when I'm really depressed because all four pile on top of me. It's like they're like right there. Whoop, hi, mom. See us? We're here. I mean, it's like they'll put their head and sleep. They'll actually sleep with their heads on my shoulders, like piled on top. It's like I feel like the inside of the Oreo cookie. And so every once in a while, I'll just smell it, and I'll be. And the weird thing is, my children have smelled her. My son, he works on a front end loader at a salvage lot, and he goes, "I'll be out there, having a rough day, and I'll smell Granny." He said it's all of a sudden my whole cab of my front loader smells like Granny. My granddaughter's got a teddy bear that she gave her, and she says, "Smell this, Nana. It still smells like Granny." So, I mean, it's like really strange, but my kids, they're like, every once in a while we smell her. And I said, that just means she's checking in on you, and I keep trying to tell Dad she's still here because he'll say, "I felt something in the bed. It felt like something got in the bed." And I just kind of closed my eyes and rolled over. And I said, "That was probably Mom." I said, "She's still there. She's still checking on you. You just need to open your eyes. There's more to this world than just throw them, or cremate them and they're done." I was like, you sit there and you talk to her all the time. I mean, he'll sit there and talk to her picture nonstop. So, she's probably listening. It's like, it's the way of the world. I mean, I listen to stuff and like that one series I watched, that Ghost in My Child, that really because these kids talk about God, but they also talk about, um, and they say it's only people who died a traumatic life, a death, that when they come back, they remember that. And so it's these kids that are like, from the time they start talking till they're older, and it's on YouTube, guys. Just search Ghost in My Child, and it's a whole series of them. But it's like, these kids can tell you who they were and what happened. Some of them can tell you who they were or what they did, you know. It's like their parents are like, "Oh my God, what's going on? My child's crazy." And then they start researching it and they finally figure out who it was and kind of give their kids closure for that past life to try to go on with this one. So it's a very interesting series. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. So, I mean, I know that sounds crazy too. But even with that, they're not saying there's not a God. They're just saying that you've got to finish what you need to do. That's just like with me. I actually went and saw a medium, and she helped me immensely because, one, I really got the feeling that she was real. I mean, this woman, I would send anyone to her because I really got the feeling that she was real. Just the way what she described, what she said, I got the feeling she was real because, she flat told me, "Your mom is telling me, that I get the feeling she left her body on the way to the hospital." And I said, "Yeah, she was gone when I opened the door." And she said, "Well, my chest is hurting." And she's holding her chest, which tells me more than likely she had a heart attack. And I said, "Well, they said it could have been a stroke or a massive heart attack from all the pain." And so more than likely she had a heart attack. And she says, she's telling me that she watched you try to do CPR on you. She's sad that you had to go through that, but she knew that you felt like you needed to, but she hates that you had to. And so then she was like, my mom's dog, that was the break-in doggy, guys, because everyone knew about, what, a year and a half ago, all of a sudden that dog broke in my daggum house and called her the break-in doggy. And she told me, she says, "I see a little white-haired lady in like a lounging, she always wore those lounger gowns kind of thing." And she goes, "I see her walking across the road with a glass in her hand and a little black dog following her. Could that be your mom?" And I was like, yeah, that describes her to a T. And that's the break-in doggy. And she said, what it is when the break-in doggy's there, your mom's there. So just whenever you let the break-in doggy in, say, hi, mom. And I said, oh, okay, gotcha. And so it was like, break-in doggy, mom. That's like, and of course, break-in doggy actually came in here. And I was at my dad or my girlfriend's, and I called and asked my dad if he could let my dogs out because they were in the house because I thought I was coming home. And he was like, sure. He comes over. He didn't let my dogs in. Break-in doggy wanted in, so then the rest of them wouldn't go out. So basically, I had 4 dogs in the house all night long, all day long for 24 hours. And believe it or not, my dogs didn't do a thing in here except for when I opened the door, break-in doggy is laying there and she just looks at me and I could tell she was on her way out. I mean, she just had this look and I had the feeling. And so I went down and I petted her and I said, just go ahead and stay here, you know, just go ahead and petted her and let her do whatever. I went in and took a nap. I came out and she was gone. And I called my dad and said, you need to come over and help me get her out of the house. And, so she actually came in over here to pass away and passed away in my front entryway. It was like, it was crazy. It's weird. I guess I'm the doggy guru, It's like I just they just show up. But yeah, my life for the last I'd say since 2019. Because my mom passed away in June. No, she passed away in May. She passed away the Friday before Mother's Day in June. And like I said, I did CPR on her and couldn't get her back. And I worked in cath lab. No one dies on us in cath lab. It just doesn't happen. It just does not happen. And the first person I lose is my mother. It was just like devastating. And so 3 weeks later, I went in for a simple procedure that I had nursed. I had nursed like 2 days before I had my procedure. And then he ends up hitting an artery and dang near killed me. I mean, it was just like, it was horrible. I was pretty much comatose for over a week. My daughter's starting to talk to my son about let's pull off life support. And then that night, I don't know what happened, but something happened where I couldn't breathe. The ventilator clogged up. Something happened. And it woke me up and I came up and I came alive and I couldn't breathe and I couldn't get no one's attention because he sleeps like the damn dead. It's like he's one of those that, you could drop a house on him and he just, and so I couldn't get him awake because he'd been awake almost the whole time for a week and it stayed with me for a solid week. And so, couldn't get him awake. And then, so I just sit there, and being a nurse, I'm like, well, I'll just rip this damn thing out. At least it gives me a chance. And so I am tied down like you would not believe, but I scooched my butt down so I could get my tooth underneath the tie down. And I ripped that puppy out. And then he heard me over there kind of going, ugh, and that's what woke him up because he knew I shouldn't be making noises. And then about that time, the alarms started going off. And it was so funny because he went running out the door trying to find my nurse. So ain't a nurse. Ain't a nurse in my hall, or ain't a nurse in the next hall. He found a person 3 halls down and said, hey, my mom's pulled her tube out. Where's my nurse? Because I know I used to be a critical care nurse. I used to work in ICU. Your ass is supposed to be there watching your 2 patients in those 2 windows, which is why they put your desk right there between those 2 windows. And so here I have ripped out my tube, and that nurse comes plopping her happy little buddy and says, you did that to be mean? And we're going to put another one back down. And me being a smart ass nurse, I plop up my hand and I said, I'm awake now. And of course, I'm talking like this. And I'm like, no, you're not. I was like, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. And I'm naming them. And you can just, and of course, she picks the worst one. And so I ended up like on a Vapotherm for 2 or 3 days, which is like a jet engine in your nostril. It was awful, but it was horrible, guys. I mean, they had me on so much drugs that I hallucinated for 3 days. I ended up coming out of that with PTSD, to where if I had to go in the hospital for a procedure, you're going to have to drag me there. You're going to have to hog tie me and drag me there because I don't want anyone to touch me in any way, shape, or form. It's like, it's awful. It's awful when they, especially when you're a healthcare person. And then, of course, the little doctor that started this whole thing, that's who I had to go back and work with. And he was back to his self of yelling at me and this other older nurse. And the young, cute ones, they could do whatever they wanted. Hi, Billy A. You must be Billy Van Sickle. I'll just put Billy A. But, they can do whatever they want. And you can't. And it was just like, I flat told him, I went all Italian on his ass. And so I'm at arm slinging and I am yelling and I am telling him he no longer has the right to yell at me because I fought my way back from hell to come back and work up there. And he wasn't yelling at me no more. I said, if you're going to yell, you yell at everybody or nobody. I said, because this ain't going to fly no more. And everyone's like, their jaws are on the ground. My boss is doubled over laughing. He went where he couldn't be seen. He goes, but I guess we really should get her out of there. I mean, hi Sandy. But I was just like, I was just like, really, 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 really. Oh, let me see. That is the wrong one. Hey, we need to go. Oh, the stupid thing. But it was just like, it was like I was done. I was done. And I worked there for another year until, what did I put that under? I bet it's this one. No. Well, heck. I didn't save my wheel. So we're just going to make a new one. So I'm going to put everyone that's in here. So we got Mutton Up first. But it was just like, I was just like, mm-mm. And of course, you know how we have that impulsivity? My boss pissed me off to no end, to where I literally just was like, I went and put in applications and I was gone in 2 weeks. I was just like, I mean, when you got, evidently, I didn't realize that was part of ADHD either, but evidently it is, the being impulsive. I just thought, and spending like crazy, because, I do that. That's why I got 387 something canvases. I mean, yeah, I really do have a crap ton of canvases. It's like crazy. Okay, Melinda, Serena, Jennifer. And then I'm going to name this sucker so I can keep up with it. But yeah, it was just like, did not realize that was part of it because, yeah, I was like, I see something that I like, and it's like, oh, I want that. And it's, so I buy it, and I buy a lot of it. That's why I got tons of them. I did finish that Blue Witch in like a week. Ooh. Hey, Mutton Nut, on those corners, I am thinking, of putting black ABs. Where you're putting the kaleidoscope. I thought about putting black ABs. I thought that'd be pretty cool. Because I know what you're talking about. Because they used to be these little tabs that you licked them and you put them on the corner of your pictures and then glued them down into the picture albums. Okay. So far, I think I have everybody, everyone, and we're gonna put that on one slice. But because you know how they have that oil slicky, they're almost like the kaleidoscope, but they have that oil slick look where they're blue, purple, a little bit of green, everything. I thought those would look good in the corners. And then, like I said, I might go on Debbie Day and get some rounds. And then, just because, let me tell you guys, her grand prize, I posted it in the Facebook group, but did you see that grand prize? Did you see that thing? It is 3 levels of 2 bottles all the way across the top and the middle and the bottom. And they're all filled with bling, all kinds of bling, jelly, rhinestones, ABs. I mean, everything. I mean, that's one hell of a grand prize gift. Let me tell you. Yeah, I did see your post. I mean, that's beautiful. That's a gorgeous canvas. That is a gorgeous canvas. Ow, I got a cramp coming up in my calf. It's like trying. It's like I need some pickle juice. Telling you that does work. I don't know if any of y'all ever tried it because when I did hardcore keto, and nothing makes you madder than I lost down to 165 pounds. I did hardcore keto for like a year, lost down to 165. All that crap happened to me, and I have gained back up to 195. So I gave 30 of it back because I can't exercise. I can only, I mean, it's like I can barely make it through grocery shopping before my side starts giving out. I mean, it's just crazy. Oh, and you know how I got woke up today? You're going to love this. My brother's ringtone is gobble, gobble, gobble. And he calls me to ask me if I can run across the road to the shed, which is where his friend stays when he's out here, and knock on the door and wake him up because he did. I said, well, doesn't he have his phone? And he goes, yeah, but he didn't answer my call. And so I walk over there. I had to get dressed. That's how I found out my britches are like killing me. I know. Same thing last year. I don't know. I can't remember who won last year, but oh my God, it was like one of those 30 storage boxes or, little suitcase luggage thing. It was one of 30, and it was, oh. I bet it's the vinegar in it. I mean, you could just drink vinegar too, but guess I could. Well, I need to make my electrolyte drink because I'm doing this. You ever seen those ones they're coming out with that are a little packet and they're called IV therapy, or the different they're boost hydration, and they're basically electrolytes and a little bit of hyaluronic acid, and it triples the water volume. Usually it only takes 1 to 2 sips and it'll break a cramp like that. And part of it's because of the salt and the vinegar in it. So, when your pickles are done, keep the juice. And if you got a cramp, just take a little swig of pickle juice and you're good to go. I mean, because when you're doing keto, oh, guys, they are the worst cramps. It is like someone rammed a steel rod up your leg. You can't even hobble on it. I was like almost crawling and I was hurting so bad. I was like, I'm going to go try it. It sounds disgusting, but I'm going to go try it. And I was like, now I keep some on hand because ooh, bad. And it's not like you have to do a whole bunch, just a couple sips. You could probably even eat a pickle. But sometimes if it's the middle of the night, you just need to take a little drink of pickle juice. I hear my dog barking, so Jim was talking about coming over to possibly, because, okay, I have that 94 Camaro, and me and my grandson took it out for a spin to meet his dad and them downtown to, and that's probably why you ain't getting no cramps. But, we thought, oh yeah, we're gonna, and it's an old race car guy. So he was just like, this kid was in heaven. Well, when we get there, all of a sudden it's spewing water everywhere. My son was like, oh, I think your radiator just busted. And so I had actually sent him $80, and I was going to send him a little more because he found one. And my brother's friend's like, no, no, don't buy it, don't buy it, don't buy it. Ooh, that does kind of sound good. Hi, Crafty Witch. Hi, Arietta. I'll put your name on the wheel draw because you came. What we're giving away today will be a $50 gift card to DAC. Hopefully over there you can. Does it cost more for you to get DAC, or would you prefer something? If you win, just let me know. And if you would prefer something else, because I can't have that shit to you either, because she's not just doing it to international. So just let me know. Let me know. We'll see what we can do. I can send you a set of Oracle cards or whatever. Yeah, it's like you wake up and you're like, wow. it's like it's like what happened? Ah, kind of like me the other night. Okay, I'm sound asleep. You know what brought me out of dead sleep? You'll love this. Because hey, my girl's been like eating everything. She's ate a tennis shoe. She ate, the M&M man. Look at his hand. More poor M&M hand. She ate the M&M man. She's ate a tennis shoe. Um, she ate the strings out of another tennis shoe. So she's just been having a heyday. So I've got tons of bones laying everywhere, trying to get her to eat the bones, not anything else. So yeah. So I'm sound asleep and I hear crunch. You know what that little heifer had? The remote control. So I snatched it away from her. I hid it underneath a pillow, and she dug it out from under the pillow. I heard crunch. So then I was like, I took it and had to put it over on the counter or on the dresser. I was just like, oh my God, you're going to be the death of me. Because she's like, she has to be. She may be 6 months old now. Because I'm telling you, she cannot be 9 months old and be chasing her because she's got a little black dot, little bitty black dot, like this big on the tip. Yeah, she was going for it. She was going for it. But she sat there and chased her tail for like 15 minutes straight. I mean, just ding, ba-ding, 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 ba-ding. And so I know you've done really good. Because I let y'all start a little early. I kind of let y'all start like 2 days early. So you got like a week and 2 days on this one. But she's chasing that tail, and she finally caught it. Okay, she catches her tail, and next thing she's over there rolling around like a ball, like a roly poly ball. I was just like, there is no way you're 9 months old. Because yeah, that is just straight up puppy. That is straight up puppy. Straight up puppy. Last night, it was like I couldn't get her to come home. She was sitting over on my dad's house. Okay. And then like Sunday night, I'll drop the week 2. It'll actually be the real week 2 live or post. So just post that picture in week 2 because it'll say post week 2 here. But because I kind of started it earlier because I kind of messed up and yeah, so it's like I'm good about that if I And then sometimes, I mean, like Sandy did, if you get to a certain point and you want to call it week 2, take a picture there and keep on going. Ow. And like, I am not going to do like some do, where you have to have it unrolled so that they can see each week and all that stuff. They'll be good till Saturday night at midnight when I'll close it. So you can do it anytime you feel like it. Sometimes I would wait till the end of the week from an event, like when I did Nix's event. Sometimes I would do it in the middle of the week. It would just depend on when I remembered it, actually. I mean, she caught that thing, was rolling around like a roly-poly. I was just like, oh my God. I've almost got her house trained, y'all. Almost. She's had like one accident in the last 3 or 4 days. But because, I have such a big house. I have such a big house that I didn't want her going in the kids' living room because, I have a kid living room in my living room. So I wanted her where I could see her so I could, see what she was up to. And so I've literally got boxes and vacuum cleaners and step stools all the way across that whole thing, blocking it off to keep her out of that room. It's just like it looks rough. But if it keeps her out of there, I mean, I still have to seam clean that carpet because she got to it before I barricaded it. But it's like, oh my God, dog. Did y'all see the picture of the Blue Witch? I mean, it's pretty. That was horrible to work on because, of course, it was an AliExpress nightmare. So it's got popping drills, which I will have to seal because they're popping like crazy. I keep rolling them down, they keep popping back up. So yeah, I'm gonna have to seal it before I can frame it. Probably have to do that for my granddaughters too. I mean, I have gotten ones from AliExpress that have actually come out very nice quality and they didn't pop and they did good. But it's like hit and miss, guys. It's hit and miss, it's hit and miss. So it's like you never know. You just never know. It's like, oh my God. But my brother's friend was like, no, don't buy a radiator. See, my brain went, whoa. Now I'm back here. Kind of like Nick's is like, whoa, okay, back on track. But he's like, don't buy a radiator yet. He said, did he pull off the cover? It goes over where the fan and all is. I said, no. He said, for all you know, that hose could have broke loose, came off, or the hose could have a hole in it. He said, or it could be your thermostat stuck. He said, it could be any number of things that are a whole lot cheaper and a whole lot easier than the radiator. He said he was going to come over in just a few minutes, but then, of course, I've known him for 20 something years, and his few minutes could be a week. It could be a week. So you never know. But it was like, yeah, it's, yeah. So he was like, yeah, don't, no, don't, not yet. Not yet. And she is turning from black, and she's got kind of a Joker face. Half of her face is black, half of it's white with a black eye. I mean, not around the eye, just her her looks like she has a black eyeliner in her black eyeball in a white spot. And it's just like I said, you look like kind of like the Joker. She was, and that's why she was a Facebook doggy. And that face, it was something about that face, and I was just like, oh, I gotta have her. I mean, she came from the other side of the state, and the people actually met me in Little Rock to give me this dog. And then they called my vet and said, we're paying for the spaying. So it was like, okay. It's like right now I have two, two in the house, and two outside. Okay, and the littler one, he is on the giant dog bed, and the bigger one is on the baby dog bed. Don't go figure. Go figure. I don't understand it. Go figure. It's like, yeah, crazy. Oh, it's almost 1:30, guys. So, doesn't look like anyone else is coming in. I got Billy and Sandy. So, looks like Area was our last one in here. I'm gonna make it to where it'll spin 7 times. And then we'll give it a few more minutes, see if anyone else pops in. But hey guys, they have those new Facebook rules to where if you hit 500 subscribers, which I'm at 468 now, and mine has been the really hard way. Because you know how some people, these big people, will shout them out and a whole herd of people go jump on their bandwagon? Well, I don't have that. Mine has been real slow and steady. It's taken me almost 2 years to hit 468. And so, and then of course I talk about everything under the sun and then some. It's like, oh, figure. But of course, my brain's like a sideways track. Like one of these days, I'll do a video and I'll show you all the rocks. In fact, I need to go stick another group of them in. That way y'all can see all the rocks. Because you never know. You never know. I found some really good. I got one that looks like a foot. I got one that looks like a butt. And I got one that looks like an eyeball. It's like really crazy. So, yeah. So we'll do the spin here in just a minute. And we'll see who gets it. And then you should be on the brain, the Google Doc, and then I can just ship it out. Well, actually, I don't even need to ship it out since it's the DAC gift card. I don't need to ship it out. I just need to give DAC your email address and your name so that they can contact you. It'll be Sunday is when you can post week 2. Because it'll be literally like when you're in the Facebook. When you're in the Facebook group, how right now it says post week 1 here. Next week it'll say post week 2 here. But so I'm almost at 500 and I have 1,800 watch hours. So if I can get to 3,000 watch hours and 500 subscribers, I will be eligible to start getting super chats and the money given to you that way. I won't be able to get AdSense, but I'll be able to have super chats and money donations and that kind of stuff. And if you wanted to have a Teespring, I think it's Teespring or whatever. Thank you, Jennifer. It makes it so much simpler because when I close out week 1 and I'll pop on live real quick on Sunday and just watch for it, and I'll do a wheel draw because I'll have everybody that's in week 1 has posted a picture, and whoever that comes up with, as long as you're on the Google Doc, I will just go to Pirate Ship, print out the label, and it will go off on Monday. So that's literally how simple it will be. That's why I love the Google Doc. Because as long as just make sure you got your stuff on there correctly, because that's where it's going, and then it's like that's where to go. You got it, good. And it's like on this canvas, I have half of it's nothing but color blocking. Hi, Tammy. Tammy, if you're not in Let Your Witch Goddess Free, you are welcome to join it. There is a Facebook group. It has a Google Doc in it. All you got to do is sign up with the Google Doc. It'll have 8 weekly postings, and you're eligible for a prize package. Today we are having a wheel draw for a Diamond Art Club gift card. But it can be anything. It can be a witch of any kind, cartoon witch, good witch, bad witch. It can be a lady standing on a cliff with flowing hair. It looks like a witch. Whatever. It can be a wizard. It can be Merlin. It can be, a creepy old man. It can be whatever. It can be a druid. It can be a god. It can be Apollo, Thor, Loki, any of those gods. It can be a goddess. It could be Athena. It can be anything you want to call a goddess. Because in the day, lady was a goddess. So like Lady of the Forest last week was goddess of the forest. That's fine. Just if you're going to put bling, just put that you're going to use bling. That will get you an extra wheel draw. Your name will go on there twice instead of just once. Debbie Day, who's one of our sponsors, she has bling available. Tmall has bling available, and Diamond Drills USA, which is one of our sponsors, has bling available. And Debbie Day has not Debbie Day, Diamond Drills USA has a discount code in the Facebook group. So, yeah. All the sponsors are in there. We got some great sponsors. Yeah, you can start. The main thing to get the grand prize, you have to participate in 2 of the weekly progress posts. The more progress posts you do, the more your chance of winning is. Yeah, I don't delete them. Yep, I don't delete them. Whenever I've sent people stuff off, I keep them in there in case I need it. It took me forever to figure out how to use it, but once I figured it out, like once I figure out this stupid hashtag, whatever the name thing is, once I figure it out, I'll have it. But it's the figuring it out part. It took me, I'm telling you, when I first started this, guys, I cried to do my first video. And it wasn't even live, it's just a video. I bawled for 4 hours trying to figure out how to do a video editing of a video. And my daughter-in-law finally figured out enough to put my first video up. I was bawling. Took me forever. Now I can put them together and just knock them out. But oh my Lord! And now to make thumbnails, because I didn't figure out thumbnails for a while. Now I can go into Canva and make stuff, and it's like, but back then, oh Lord, oh no, like I made. You're gonna love this, guys. Because I got tired, and when people say, "What do you do?" I say, "Diamond painting." I'm like, what's that? And you tell me you got a YouTube. And so I went. Of course, I did one for my skincare. Because that stuff is nice. Where it's got my link and people can use it. But it was like I got so tired of people going, "What? Where? How you spell it?" It is. I made this, and it's my YouTube link. And it says Love and Sparkles, and it's my YouTube link. And it just says, let's have fun. And I made this in Canva, and you get like 50 of them for $15. And that's all that. I keep some in my purse, and that way when they say, what's your link? What's this? And I was just like, oh, I'll make it simple for you. Here you go. I just give them a card. Ooh, that sounds neat. Like me, I'm doing the same one. Same way that's doing. And it is the Sage and Hood. And it says I'm not sugar and spice and everything nice, and it's got the witch, got a witch hat and all this stuff on intricate stuff on her back. And it says I'm sage and hood and wish a muff muffucker muffucker would. It's Mufuka. So they just left out the C and the O. So, and me and her are both working on that one. We're both blinging it out. She's using kaleidoscope on her the little tabs down here. And then up here, I'm going to do something that's more sunny and something that's more moony. And I'm going to use a lot of sparklers because I don't have a lot of round drills. Most of mine that I have collected have all been square. So I got a few round ABs that are from my um old canvases that I can kind of throw in here and there. And then I bought glow in the dark from, oh my gosh, for my wording. But other than that, it was kind of like, but I got a whole crud load of sparklers, guys. And sparklers they're the size of a square. So they're a little smaller, but as long as you're dropping them in the middle, they'll work. I know, because I've done it. I have put squares in a round canvas, and I have put rounds in a square canvas whenever I needed to color. So it's like, whatever works. And that one I'm going to frame and put over by I have an actual witch. It's almost like a witch saying. It's over by my kitchen table, and it's like all the things, smile more, be positive, all this kind of stuff. And it's over there. In fact, I'll take you over there and I'll read it to you because I can't really remember what exactly it says. And I had it framed. Cost me a fortune for this stinking frame. Okay, and this is what it is. And it's got the black cat and the brooms and a spell book and the crystals and skull and a hat. And this is, today is a good day to have a great day, to smile more, worry less, to be the very best version of you, to do more of what makes you happy every day, to be positive and regret nothing, to be humble and work hard every day, may not be good, but find something good in every day. Laugh, love, live, follow your dreams, believe in yourself, and remember to be awesome. So that is actually, I bought the frame for it. And it's like a blue chalk frame. It's really pretty. And so I bought the frame for it. And so I just have it up there, and I'm going to put it right on the other wall, so those two things will be there. Yeah, I'm switching out paintings. And then, like I said, when I get, I'm better, much better on my mental health journey. And it really does help having someone you can go in and vent to every 2 weeks. And basically he'll say, "How's your week?" And I'll just start rambling, and he just listens to me talk for, an hour. And then sometimes he'll actually start Googling to check out what I'm talking about. Because, like when we were talking about finding someone to date, because it really is lonely out here. But the 2 times I've tried to date, it's like, it's been so bad, I'm not so sure about that stuff. And he was like, "Well, how about church?" And I just looked at him and I said, "I am pagan. That is not the best place for me to be." And he was like, "Well, what's pagan?" So I had to spend time and him Googling to explain what pagan was. And I told him, basically, I get more from my woods and my stream than I would from being in there, because most of them are not nice people. I mean, yes, there are some wonderful Christians. I have nothing against them. But a lot of them aren't. They're like Christian on Sunday, but the rest of the week they be a-hoes. It's like, no. I mean, and I hate those kind of people because they think while they're in church, they're great. They can go in there and confess or whatever. And then the rest of the week, they can be awful. And so, and I used to work with them, and I was just like, "Y'all, you're just not right." You're just not right. So, and I also have some old special drills that I got that are round, that I could probably throw in there that are rhinestone and stuff. So I'll need to go pull them out and check them. So, yeah. And pretty soon, all the ones that I bought for my Hade because I was running out of colors. Yes, Sandy, yes. And that's why I was like, no, no, no. He says, okay, I see your point. He's like, I see your point. I was like, yeah. Like my granddaughter, and this is like from the mouth of babes. She turns 12 next week. And she said, Nana, I don't know why you can't be a Christiana witch. She goes, because it doesn't mean that you don't believe that there's a God. It just means you believe in other natural stuff. She goes, so I don't see the problem with it. And so, I mean, that's out of mouth of babes. So she'll tell her mom, I want to go to Nan's and do witchy stuff. And we come out here and we'll make protection jars or, we'll make herbal stuff, herbal teas and tinctures and stuff like that. And she calls it witchy stuff. So it cracks me up. She's got her own phone and she'll sit there and work on a diamond painting. I'll give her and she'll shoot me a picture going, it's so pretty. How's it coming out? She's so cute. I love her to death. She's my only girl. I mean, I feel so bad for her. She was born with, they call her vascular anomalies, but it's like the port wine stains. And so she had one really bad one on her leg that was just massive. And they told my daughter that as she grew, it would grow with her. When she hit puberty, it would get worse. So they literally went in and were like, well, they were trying to laser it out. And she'd go in and have, I mean, horrible lasers, not just like for your hair, but like to where she would have like second degree burns and blisters and all trying to burn these vessels out. And then they'd come right back and they'd come right back. So she finally, oh, you want to hear a good one? This is what my aunt did. I swear to God, she did this. I swear. Her husband died and she, had him cremated, put in a box in her closet. They came to the door and said, well, can we talk to your husband? And she said, sure, I'll go get him. I'll be right back. She came back with his ashes in a box and said, here, and opened it up and said, you can talk to him. And they were gone. Guys, they were gone. I laughed so hard. I thought that was so freaking hilarious. I mean, she just was like, yeah, I'll go get him. Ooh, yeah. I actually would like to get a set of those because there's a lot of them that I want to change the tones in them. And like that, the queen on my Hade, the queen on my Hade, that's okay. I mean, as long as you're just doing it. I mean, I'm honest. I believe people. I don't. It's that stuff of like. I mean, to me, this thing of like approving pictures to the point of like it has to have 99% this or it has to be this or no, 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 no. That takes the fun out of it. That just takes all the fun out of it. But yeah, when she brought out that box of ashes and told him to go ahead and start talking to him, I was like, you did. She was, oh yeah, I did. And I know that woman. Yes, she did. I mean, I thought that was so awesome. Because I bet they probably had a note up there at the church saying, don't go to this house. It's just like, kind of like with the creepy down dude, the road that the dog tried to eat. He's probably like, don't go to that house. I mean, because he looks like he'll eat you, but he won't. And all my babies are getting fat. I don't feed them anymore because it's been so hot. They just lay around and they all getting old and fat and look like sausage dog. I look like I got sausage doggies laying everywhere. Well, hers was so bad that she's been in a research project since she was probably 3 months old. She came out with it, her whole thigh. And it was like when she started going to daycare, my daughter was starting to get turned in for beating her because, it's all purple and looks like a bruise. So they returned him for beating her. Well, see, when you got people coming to your door, just pull out some ashes and it'll make them they just disappear. They be gone. They be gone. They be gone. It's just like I thought that was great. I really did. Um, but she had this, big, huge. I mean, it's the whole thing of her thigh. And then they found that she actually had internal ones in her abdomen. She had some on the inside of her legs down by her crotch area. And they got to where she calls them sting like a bee, saying they're stinging like a bee. Well, they finally, because of the people being the way they are, and I turned her in and she's like, no, that's a health thing. I don't beat her. Oh yeah, that would do it. I got the triple moon on my front door. But I was like, I don't know, I don't beat her. So they took her in and literally opened it up and was going to cut it out because they couldn't get the laser out. They couldn't figure out why. Well, when they were in there, the doctor come out during the procedure and showed us a picture on our phone. It's okay, this is what we found. This is what we're going to do. And this is why it's never gone away. That child had a vein that started in her hip and went all the way to her knee that was this big around, guys. That's not a normal vein. Not supposed to be that big. So every time they would laser off those little vessels, that big old thing was just filling them right back up. So they went in there and they stripped that out and then closed it up. And then um, there was a little spot that came back. So they opened it back up. This other doctor opened it up. But when he closed it, he didn't close it right. And so we was having issues with that. So then she had to go back again and have that incision redone, revised, because it was done so poorly. And we kind of wish that guy had done the whole thing because what part he did looked awesome. But now she's got where the inner ones down by her hoo-ha are burning or stinging like a bee is what she calls it. So they've been going in there and lasering those off. And she's got another laser treatment next week after. So this child, since she's been 6 months old, has been having to go under general anesthesia, having surgeries, I mean, we're not talking nice lasers. We're talking the kind that give you look like you've been burnt by baking grease burned, it's like, it's bad. So I feel for her because that's what her life has been, So I'll be glad when they finally get that under control. And then, of course, now she's hitting puberty, so they really got to watch the outside one, make sure it don't go crazy. It's like, yeah. And I have a friend, my brother's friend. He's been bringing me collectibles. He likes Discovery of Witches. And he says, I only saw the first season and maybe a little bit of the second. And I own Discovery of Witches, all 3 seasons. So he's been coming over like in the evening when their day's done over there. He'll come over here and we'll watch 2 or 3 episodes. And so he reminds me of a little boy. He literally had brought me a whole, like our little storage containers. They did. And they didn't see how big it was. That's how they figured out that it was anomalies. It's been a whole, her life has been at Children's, a whole hot mess. Yeah, see, I have the books on Kindle, and then I have the 3 seasons. And so he'll come over and we'll watch, a couple of seasons or a couple of episodes. And then he's like, I got to get up and go to work at 4 a.m. And it'd be like 1 o'clock in the morning because we've sat here and watched Discovery of Witches. It's like, you fool, why don't you go home? But he has brought me all kinds of white quartz, tons of it. Pointed, double pointed. He said those are self healers where they've actually healed out and made points on both. So I got tons of quartz. He's brought me that. He brought me some arrowheads that he's found, a couple that he's made. It's just like, remind me of a little kid bringing me little toys. It's like, oh, but it's like, he'll fix my cars. Yeah, hey, that's good because he's actually going to work on the Camaro and figure out what's going on with it. I mean, I wish they had more, either another series of that type. 'Cause I love that. I love that series. That was so awesome. And so much history in it. So, Discovery of Witches. It's on AMC Plus. Or if you have Vudu, you can purchase it on Vudu. I think the first two seasons weren't that expensive. And then I paid like $30 for the third season because they figured out people really liked it. Now, hers is here at Children's. And like I said, she was in a research project. And I know I have some wishing stones because, I mean, as I'm doing this, I call these the grieving rocks because the way my brother grieved when my mom first passed was he would go down and walk the river and pick rocks, like a five-pound bucket of rocks. And um, I have actually been, mine are on Vudu, but I've also got like 692 movies on Vudu. And no, I did not buy them all. What I did is, back in the day, Walmart had Ultraviolet, which would link to Vudu. So I could go into Walmart and I took all of my daughter's DVD library and took it into Walmart and paid $2 a disc for them to dump them onto the Ultraviolet, which dumped them onto my Vudu. And then I went and got my son's DVD library and did the same thing. And then I took my DVD library and did the same thing. So I ended up with all of these on my DVD library. And I now have a fast enough internet that I can use it. Because for, the first 10 years I lived out here, I couldn't because internet wasn't fast enough. It would just sit there and spin and spin and spin and spin and spin. So, yeah. But I got some rocks that came with my last rock tumbler. I'm going to throw in there and see what they pop out. But I know I have some wishing stones where it has that white ring that goes around it. And they say you can rub it and wish. And so far, I've found 3 or 4 of those. So that's kind of cool. And so, yeah, I found some red jasper and but I never know what they're going to be because he did that. Yes, they also have them in books. I got them on Kindle. I just bought them as a Kindle book. And the books are actually better. The books are better. I have to admit that, but it was so hard for me to read them because I couldn't keep my attention focused. And then, of course, when I get my attention focused, then it would hyper focus, and then I wouldn't sleep until I was like finished the first book. It was like crazy. Now, of course, my therapist was like, try taking one of your grandsons. Well, I forgot to give him his pill one day, and so I thought, well, I'll go ahead and try it. And you know what? It was like night and day because I can't relax. I don't know how to relax. I would love to meditate, but I can't quiet my mind and sit still long enough to meditate. That's why I have to drug myself into oblivion to go to sleep to shut the head off because it just sits there and just woo, 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 all over the place. So I took that. I went to sleep early that night. I went to sleep like 11 o'clock, all on my own, slept all night, didn't even have to take anything. And I was like, this is wild. And I could sit here and just relax and not be doing something or have to do something. It was night and day. Night and day. I mean, it was just like world of difference. So, I mean, like, and then, like I said, I watched that one YouTube girl and she was talking about how they tried her on Vyvanse, Concerta, and then the Atarax XR. And she was like telling what the different ones were like and what they did. And from the way it sounds like the Adderall XR, where you get the initial release and then like 8 hours later, you'll get another release to get you through the rest of the day. And so I'm thinking that's what I'm going to ask for. But it's like it didn't speed me up. I went to speed. It didn't speed me up. In fact, I mean, I could actually think. I actually got a little bit my good counters done. It's yeah, it's awful. It's like, and I've been watching the psychiatrist, and he does. Oh, what is it? It's something gamer, and he's also does a class. And I was listening to his podcast, and I was like, oh my god, that's me. And that was how I figured it out. I was like, that is straight up me. And then the gamer, I can't remember what his name is on there. Okay, remember Jennifer, and I'll post it in the group too of who wins the giveaway. So, and I'll contact Dak and give him the names. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw in 5 minutes because that'll be the 2 hour mark. So, but I'll post it up here. Um, so it's just like you find some of them. Look up ADHD on YouTube, and you can find some very informative stuff. Very informative. It was like, wow. That's why I got piles. I've always had piles, and I know what's in my piles. It's crazy. And Tammy, if you're wanting to join, like I said, it could be that. It could be a pentagram. It could be a cat with a crystal ball. It could be just something that looks a pagany feel to it. Um, it could be like Lady of the Lake. That would be a goddess of the lake. Lady of the Forest. That was a goddess of the forest. I mean, everyone's like, no, she's Lady of the Forest and she's got fairy wings. And I'm like, God, she's what I want to say she is, and just do it that way. If you can come up with, put a pumpkin hat on a pumpkin, or I mean, you come up with why it's a, witchy feel to you. It's got a haunted house and it's the witch's house. Whatever. It's whatever. This is for having fun. It's where we can all get together, have fun. It's so we can have a good time. In fact, I'll go ahead and spin now since you're staying in here. Let me see. I can get the spin. Let me pop it up. Okay. And this is all the names. Make sure that everybody is in there. Yes, that's it. So I got everybody in there. Just sign up on the Google Doc. Go to Let Your Witch Goddess Free 2023. And that's the Facebook page. The Google Doc is in there. All the sponsors are in there. All the discount codes are in there. And so that is everybody that has come in today. Dun, 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 dun. Why are you not spinning? Okay, now we're spinning. Riza, you want a gun. I swear to God, this is a whole new wheel. It's not even the same wheel. There is our winner for week 2. Wow. Okay. So I'm going to screenshot that, because that way it'll go over into my so Riza won this one. That is crazy, because I mean, you saw me, I built that wheel. And so I will contact them about week 1. And as Nick says, you have a horseshoe up your ass. That's what she used to say about me, because I was like, it was like back when she used to do all them giveaways, I would win them. I mean, it was like I would win them. So let me see if I can get into Facebook, get into my groups, and then that way I can just kind of And this is going to be week 1 live winner. And then I'm going to go get my picture. And here's the picture. It is coming now. It should be. There we go. Just click on it and it'll show you who the week 1 live winner is, and that's in the Facebook. And then I will go get on my little and I'll write down your email address and get a hold of DAC and tell them I have the first week's winner, and send them your email and they'll be contacting you with the gift certificate. So enjoy. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. And I will be back next week on Wednesday to have another live and another giveaway of something. And now I am keeping one of the DAC gift certificates and one of the Captured by Radiance to put in the grand prize. So that's why I said the grand prize is going to be awesome, guys, because you get all the stuff. You get the grand prize packet, because some of them made grant, like these will be in the grand prize packet, along with a little pin and a big pin and a big cover minder and little cover minder from Dynamite Diamonds is the grand prize for in there. And you all saw the grand prize from Debbie Day. It's like, oh my God. And you enjoy your diamond painting. And I'm going to finish this one so that I can start my next one. And I love y'all. If you're not subscribed, hit subscribe, hit like. It really does help the algorithms. It'll throw it out there where more people see it. Pass me around, share it, share me, hit share. And that way maybe I can get some more subscribers so I can hit 500, get some watch hours, and maybe start, wanting to do live more. Love y'all. See you next week, and maybe a few pop-ons, like I'll pop on Sunday and do the draw for that. See y'all later. Bye.